Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So today is a really special day because we are doing our very first interview here on the channel. And for our first guest, we have none other than the creator of The Complex and the recently announced The Complex Expedition. Isarl, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Glad to have you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to answer some
Yeah, no
questions
worries,
today.
no worries.
Thank you so much for that. So basically, there's just so much that I want to ask you, but I know that both of us are kind of limited in time. I know that you're probably super busy with everything going on with the sequel, but hopefully we can get some answers out of you with some of these. If you don't want to answer them, that's fine. I totally understand. I am going to ask, the obvious stuff about the sequel. So one of the things that I wanted to do is talk about how great the reception has been for the complex. Were you expecting that sort of attention to the complex?
I mean, not at all. Absolutely not. When I started making the game, I didn't think anyone would play it at all. Like you know anyone, because I had no kind of attention to it. When I started,
Mm-hmm.
though, when I started uploading clips onto YouTube, I saw that people were really excited for it. So that was awesome to see.
Do you feel like teasing it, kind of got everybody's attention? I mean, you did a great job with that with those videos, and I think the overall excitement for it was, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to play that. I'm going to be able to experience that and be in that world.
Oh yeah, no, I was just posting teaser videos onto YouTube, like 10 to 20-second clips just of the game.
Yeah, they were. I remember catching them, and I was like, wait, is this a game? Like, I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that I was going to potentially have the chance to be in the back rooms in that manner. We've always experienced it through, short movies on YouTube and things like that. And I just thought it was brilliant. Like, the game was fantastic. It was free too, which I still couldn't believe it was free. I was like, this is free, and I'm just like messing around in this world. It's so
Yeah.
cool having the ability to be in the back rooms without a time limit, which is exactly what I want. The moment that you put a time limit on me, sometimes when it comes to exploration, it's an immediate turnoff for me. So it was really nice to be able to explore that world and go at my own pace.
That was kind of the point that I was trying to make the game, as close to the original Backrooms, the infinite. Of course, I couldn't make the game infinite if I wanted to keep the interesting architecture and all that stuff. So I really wanted to, make it feel like those animations on YouTube.
Oh
So
yeah. And you did a great job capturing that. You conveyed that extremely well. Can you tell us how you got into game design?
yeah, so I think that I really got into it in 2019 after playing a game called September 1999. It's like this short 5 minutes psychological horror game, which I definitely think everyone should check out if you're into horror stuff. But yeah, after playing that, I decided I really wanted to make like VHS horror games, and I did try to make one, which I canceled like 2 days later. So most of my projects before the complex were just tests or me just trying to make realistic scenes and stuff like that.
Was liminal spaces a big inspiration for you as well?
Yes, definitely. Liminal spaces were definitely a big inspiration for the game, which quite obviously liminal spaces are synonymous with the backrooms.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah, a lot of them. I searched a lot of liminal space images, to make my environments. So as some people have noticed, some liminal space images that can be seen in my game.
So
Um,
so do you have like direct references to liminal
yeah,
spaces that we have seen time and time again in your games?
yeah, a couple of them at least.
For example, the shot of I believe that's the Heathrow airport lobby,
Oh yeah,
or like the hotel lobby that everybody has seen plenty of times. We've even seen that in Kane's video as well.
yeah,
So that's
definitely.
that's definitely. I was really excited when I came across that one in the game, so I was really happy that you included that. I wanted to ask, what inspired you to create the complex? Was it not just liminal spaces, but you know, was this one of your first projects, or were you coming off of other projects as well, and you were inspired to jump into this. So how did that come about for the beginning of the complex itself?
Okay, so at the time when I decided to make the complex, or started, I was really into like PlayStation 1 styled horror games like Puppet Combo and
Oh
those,
yeah.
like you played.
Oh yeah. I love
Um,
them.
yeah, I was really into that, so I was trying to make that. But then in January of 2022, I saw, Kane Pixels Found Footage 1, and I just knew I had to try to remake it in video game form. I mean, and obviously, what inspired me was obviously all the support I got while making it, and I really do appreciate everyone for that.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, with every upload Kane posted to YouTube, I got more and more inspired. But yeah, I still wanted to make the game my own kind of thing, and
Right.
not connected with his. Yeah, this is just for those who aren't sure. The complex is not connected with any other Backrooms canon, not the Backrooms wiki, Kane Pixels, or anything else really.
So you're putting your own spin on it. You're taking the
Yeah,
concept itself, and pretty much I've seen so many other people do that too. They create their own concepts, with
yeah,
with Kane and other people. There's even like comedic. There's like humorous videos regarding the back rooms as well that are pretty funny to
yeah. I've
watch.
seen.
So yeah,
Yeah, like
that's
those Death Slides
oh
videos.
yeah, yeah. That's honestly a really good point to bring up. That you're wanting to kind of put your own spin on it, your own version of it, which is really important,
Yeah,
I guess, in the creation of it, because so many people would expect a certain outcome, and when that outcome doesn't happen, that's when the surprise comes. I feel like
yeah,
source material's there, that's cool, but if you follow that, everybody knows what's going to happen. So I feel like as long as others take the time to create their own vision, I feel like the outcome is so much more exciting for anybody who is watching or playing it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut to the most important question I feel of this interview right now in the middle. I'm not going to keep people, I'm not going to keep people
yeah,
waiting. With the
yeah.
Complex Expedition trailer out and the attention that it has received, what can you tell us that we can expect from the sequel?
So yeah, I mean, well, it's still in early development. What I can say is that it'll be a lot more, story centered, while still maintaining, the exploration and horror aspect of the first game.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, it'll be kind of close to the first game in terms of gameplay, except this time the environment will be somewhat interactable. Like for example, I aim to let the player, turn light switches on and off, open doors and such. Yeah, I want to make the game, worth the price. I'm talking about the price. Yeah, I'm planning to make it like around $6 or $7 probably.
gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's not bad at all. So you're aiming for a lot of interactivity, more interactivity than you had before in
yeah.
the first one.
I think that being able to interact with light switches and stuff like that immerses the player a lot more. You feel like you're actually in the world.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I'm really excited to experience that. Will the Complex Expedition be a set of larger maps? Will it be a much bigger area than than what we had in the complex?
Yeah, the game will be a lot bigger and a lot longer as well. Um, I'm aiming for like 3 to 5 hours of playtime, hopefully. And adding on to that, also, there will be a save feature of the game. Yeah.
That's really important. I know that a lot of people
Yeah.
were asking for a save system in there because they just didn't have the time to explore and turn off their PC and then come back later. I know one example. It was like a dad who had a bunch of kids, and
Oh, I
he
saw that
went,
too.
yeah, he wanted to experience the game, and he just didn't have the time because he had to deal with his kids.
Yeah.
And so that's really good. I'm glad that you're adding that. That will at least let a lot of people experience the game at even more of the pace that they can invest in. So that's really awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Speaking of maps and areas, will we see more pool rooms by any chance?
Yes, you will see
Awesome.
more pool rooms, more than the first game as well.
Okay. I
A
love
lot
that
more.
area. Will we have any sort of like tunnels? Like I know that when you go into the pool rooms in the complex, you have that small tunnel that you can crouch into, and it's
Yeah.
just pure darkness. Are we gonna have anything like that again? And will there be anything
Um,
waiting for us?
There will be more tunnels, yes,
Okay.
and they will lead to other areas now.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Okay.
yeah, and even crawl spaces as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know that beforehand you were going to have some sort of climb over functionality, but you have since said that it will not have that.
Yeah, I canceled that,
Okay.
but there will still be, you know, I'm not going to say too much, but there will be cutscenes where the player climbs.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So
Cool. I just wanted to kind of bring that up because I know not everybody pays attention to all updates, So if anybody's
yeah,
going to catch that, it would be this video, so hopefully they'll hear that out. All right, so this question has been asked several times, I feel. We know that the complex had an entity or entities in it that kind of peeked out and kind of messed with you. Will we
yeah.
see a return of entities in the complex expedition, and what can we expect from that? Will we have that subtlety to them still, or will we see something else?
So yeah, there will be an entity, the same kind of entity, but I can't say much about it. But yeah, I'm just gonna say that there will be a lot more encounters with entity, and I don't just mean sightings as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hmm.
I want to ask more, but I feel like you probably can't say more, right?
Yeah.
I know that's going to make some people happy, definitely. Um, will there be an option? I'm going to kind of piggyback off of this. Would we see an option for us to explore the game without any sort of interruption? Like, being in danger? Will we be able to just kind of explore without any sort of danger, just purely for the people who just want to vibe inside of the back rooms?
Yeah, so I was planning on making maybe multiple modes as well. Like the main game is, the researcher going on an expedition,
Hmm.
but I was thinking maybe modes. So you can go in peaceful, I mean, I wouldn't say peaceful, maybe just exploration mode. Then
Hmm.
there's another mode with, something else. Like I got a suggestion about a what was it? Like a lights off mode where the whole background is just exploration, but the whole backgrounds are just the lights are gone.
Oh,
It's
that's
just completely dark,
that's
and you have
creepy.
to use a flash, the camera flash,
Oh man.
to navigate.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be really creepy to experience, honestly. So that's really good. I'm glad because giving people the option, giving people options in general is an extremely good idea for making things more accessible because not everybody wants to be scared. Some people are
Yeah,
interested in the back
definitely.
rooms just because of how fascinating the world looks, or just just on how everything is presented. Liminal space in general doesn't always have to be a jump scare fest. It's always been to me a place of transition, and it's that awkward, weird feeling that you get by looking at it. And some people just really want to experience that. I guess from what I've heard so far, it seems like the game will continue to be an exploration focused game.
Yeah, the complex games, they're always going to be mostly focused on single player horror exploration.
Okay, good. Good. I love that. That's like the best thing about it is, again, having everything at your pace and exploring it as you want to. Is there any chance that we could expect environmental puzzles? Will there be any light puzzles, or it is just pure just walking around and exploring?
I don't currently have plans for that, but
Okay.
I can definitely think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to include voice acting in this sequel?
Yeah, I know this is a concern for a lot of people since indie games, aren't really known for top-notch voice acting. But
Hmm.
all I can say is just you're gonna have to trust me on this. It'll be
Okay.
mostly just conversations, like what can be seen in, for example, I mean, the video Pitfalls, from Kane.
Gotcha.
Uh, but for those who don't like voice acting or don't want to hear it, they can it can be turned off in the options menu.
Do you have any plans of adding co op to this?
Yeah, a lot of people are asking that.
I bet.
Well, single player, is always going to be the main objective for these games, but I'm not thinking about a co-op mode at this point, though, I'm not confirming that it won't be in it. But,
It's
it's
an
just something
idea.
I'll think about later. Yeah,
It's
it's an
a
idea.
it's in the back of your head right now while
Yeah,
you
for sure.
finish the game. Gotcha. Do you have any plans on having this on consoles, and will you have controller support, for example?
Yeah, I don't have any plans to bring it up to consoles, but the sequel will have functioning controller support, which the complex found footage didn't have.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I know several people who play on PC, but they still use controller. It's just sometimes it's just more comfortable, or their setup
Yeah.
is just like, for example, the Steam Deck. Which, by the way, are you planning on having it Steam Deck verified? Is that something that you're
I
planning on?
mean, yeah, I'm definitely gonna try. The game is pretty heavy on performance, and
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it has to be playable over 40 frames per second to be accepted. I think,
gotcha.
but I will definitely try my best to make it available.
Speaking of performance, are you going to make it accessible for people who cannot run it at high resolution and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. A lot more options, a lot more accessibility options.
Okay, good, good, awesome. I know that that's been one of the things that people have asked about. That they're curious, can I even run it? Opening it up for people who don't have the latest GPU and things like that, or a current rig is really important.
Yeah,
It'll open it up to a lot of other people who weren't able to play beforehand.
yeah. A lot of Steam reviews have been, complaining that it's not running well. So I think that it's a good idea to add a lot more
Awesome. So
options.
we can definitely look forward to more optimization for the sequel. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so we've talked about the complex expedition, and we've talked about how you got started into game design and everything like that. But I wanted to go ahead and ask you something a little different. I wanted to ask you, if you could have any dream project become a reality, what would you like that dream project to be? What would you like to work on?
I've always wanted to make like, third person action adventure games. Like for example, Last of Us or Uncharted, but that's a huge goal for, a solo developer like me. But I think that, if the Complex Expedition release goes well, I'll definitely try to buy a motion capture suit to make even higher quality games,
Nice.
And I do have some pretty good ideas that I don't want to share them yet, but I will in the future, definitely.
That's awesome. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to the inevitable day that you're going to buy that mocap suit. It's going to happen. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure of it. I
Yeah,
can't
very
wait for
excited.
that. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what you'll be able to create with that. I'm really excited. So my last question for you is, for anyone out there that is wanting to get into game design, what would be your advice to them on how to get started?
Oh, well, I would just say just, no matter what engine you're using, just play around with it. And
Mm,
I mean, until you're confident, you can make a small game. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything, anything crazy, you don't have to compare it to any big budget games, on Steam or anything like that.
mm.
Though you can also just make a lot of test projects like I did and all sorts of stuff you can just learn from YouTube or, any online courses for that matter.
So you've actually gone through several projects before, and
Oh
uh,
yeah, millions, man.
tons of good and bad, and maybe more bad. So like
Yeah,
you
definitely.
you got to deal with the failures in order to get something that you really enjoy, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to really like, making games to if you want to make something big.
And it's not just like, oh, this is going to be fun. There's a lot of really annoying, frustrating parts about game design.
Definitely, yeah. It's a lot of, ups and downs, just, you know.
Just got to roll with it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much that goes for a lot of professions out there, but I've noticed that that's the brick wall, or kind of like the big boss that a lot of people encounter, is the frustration of the process of game design, especially if you're by yourself. That's a lot of stuff to consider. So Props to you because taking on a game by yourself and handling everything on your own is crazy. And honestly, I don't know how you do it, but you do it, and that's what's important. Take your time and do your thing, man, because it's been great so far. All right, so that's all the time that we have for today. Isarl, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and go through these questions. I'm sure that a lot of people will be extremely excited to hear what you have to say. Speaking of everybody that's excited for the game, do you have anything that you want to say to everybody that is now awaiting this sequel?
Okay, so yeah, all I can really say is that I'm just very excited to show this project to you, and it will definitely surprise you guys.
Isarl, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us tonight and answer these questions.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It was great.
Folks, make sure to go ahead and click on the Steam link in the description below so that you can go ahead and wishlist the Complex Expedition today. And as always, take care. Peace. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.